Talk Arsenal then. Thierry Henry last week or the week before piled in on Mikel Arteta, said they were nowhere near, they didn't challenge at any stage. How busy have Arsenal got to be, Mark, for them to challenge next season?
It feels like they've been close for so long, but they've not had that piece of Thierry Henry magic. That one player, particularly in an attacking third, you know, we've got, you know, Bukayo Saka there who is exceptional, but when he was out injured, you really felt like, where were the goals going to come from? It's the one position that Arsenal fans have been crying out for them to strengthen over the course of the last, 2-3 transfer windows, really. And it feels like if Arsenal had that out-and-out number 9, they may be in a very different position to where they are now.
Right, let me throw some names at you then. Gyokeres?
Yep.
Sesko?
Yep.
Osimhen?
Yep.
Which one?
Right, I'll tell you what, let's go with Benjamin Sesko, 22 years old, someone that's been in the Red Bull group, just 13 goals and assists last season for RB Leipzig, someone that has undoubted quality. A couple of windows ago, he was linked with Real Madrid. Real Madrid were keeping tabs on him, someone that was really, really on the radar for a number of clubs. This is a deal that's been described to me as a cheaper deal than the other player you mentioned, or the other two players you mentioned, Viktor Gyokeres and Osimhen as well. Now, the problem with Viktor Gyokeres is he's 27 years old tomorrow, and now football clubs look at deals and they say, right, if we're going to invest 60, 70, 80 million pounds plus agents' fees and wages on this kind of a player, what are we going to get back in 3 or 4 years down the line?
Well, some goals.
Hopefully some goals, but at 27 years old, the chances of you flogging him on for 40 or 50 million in 4 or 5 years' time is very, very slim. But Viktor Gyokeres, a player I absolutely adore. I love watching him on loan at Coventry. I love watching him play for Coventry before he went to Sporting. Last season, 46 goals and assists just in the league, 7 in the Champions League. He is going to guarantee you goals. Will he guarantee them in the Premier League is the big question. But no question, he is another player that is on the radar of Arsenal. Osimhen, another good player, another goal scorer, but hefty wages, and that's a big investment as well. So that's the 3 that Arsenal are linked to at the moment. There could be 1 or 2 others, but do Arsenal have the transfer funds to go and spend 120 million on one player?
You tell me.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Really?
No. I think they have to be a little bit more clever. I think Mikel Arteta has spent, best part of £1 billion over the last 5 years on players, and all they've done is got to second.
Got close, yeah.
They've got close. They've been outstanding. They've been on this really good journey and this really good project. But ultimately, Newcastle, Palace, these teams are judged on silverware in the cabinet, particularly for Arsenal. Just doing well, just finishing second is not good enough.
They will sign a striker. It depends who it's going to be. I think it's going to be between those 2 options. And there are internal discussions ongoing right now between Gyokeres and Sesko. I don't think they'll be going for Osimhen. And Mark's so right, there's the 2 options there. I think Arsenal fans want the finished product, I think, right now. You've got Sesko, who's 22, he's got a modest goal-scoring record, but you look at what Gyokeres has done at Sporting Lisbon, 97 goals in 102 matches for the club. There was an argument, there was a report that there's a slight difference of opinion in terms of who Andrea Berta, the new sporting director, wants and who Mikel Arteta wants. But Mikel Arteta spoke to us a couple of weeks ago and said, that's not the case. We're on the same hymn sheet. We know what we're going to do. It's going to be a big summer of recruitment. But I think when you look at Arsenal this season in the Premier League, their highest goal scorer in the Premier League was Kai Havertz with 9 goals. And he missed 3 months of the football. They will sign a striker. Gyokeres feels like the finished article. I think that's what Arsenal fans would want right now. Sesko could go on and have a massive high ceiling. They will sign someone. But I think Arsenal fans want to see a bit of action now because you can see the other clubs have been so busy already in the first few days of this transfer window.
And I hate to mention it, but that lot down the road won a trophy, didn't they?
What lot?
That lot. All right, we're going to take a break.
Wait away. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, Mikel Arteta's search for number 9 continues. Viktor Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko have both been linked with a move to the Emirates, but as of yet, no significant progress has been made on either player.
Let's get to Aston Villa. They'll need to sell to generate funds to buy. Goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez has been linked with a move away from Villa Park.
Milos Kerkez could follow Dean Howson in departing the Vitality Stadium. He's been linked with a move to Liverpool, but as of yet, there's been no formal approach.
This transfer confirmed today. Quevin Kelleher is in. Mark Flecken is out at Brentford as Thomas Franks gives his goalkeeping department a shuffle.
Now on to Brighton. Karo Mitoma could depart Brighton this summer amid interest from Bayern Munich. Kyle Walker-Peters is also available on a free and is a player Fabian Herzl's side like.
Some breaking news from Burnley. They've offered Josh Brownhill a new long-term contract. Brownhill's current deal is due to expire at the end of this month. Clubs in the Premier League and abroad are interested in the midfielder.
Chelsea are in talks to sign AC Milan goalkeeper Mike Maignan. Liam Delap is also closing in on a move to Stamford Bridge.
There is plenty of interest expected in Crystal Palace duo Abera Eza and Adam Walter this summer.
Everton are interested in signing Liverpool's Ben Doak. Now, no player has made a direct transfer between the two clubs since Abel Xavier in 2002.
Let's get to Fulham down the road from here. They're looking to prioritise strengthening their attack this summer.
Leeds are looking to strengthen and have a rumoured transfer kitty of, get this, £100 million to add to their squad this summer.
We've just been speaking about Liverpool, as well as wanting to sign Florian Wirtz. Arne Slot is looking to sign a new striker this summer for the champions.
Manchester City want Lyon midfielder Ryan Cherki, and after the departure of Kevin De Bruyne, will Jack Grealish also be off? Pep wants a small squad, so as well as incomings, it's expected there'll be some big-name departures as well.
Some huge news from Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is staying at Old Trafford despite interest from Saudi Arabia. We'll hear from him later on this evening. Jadon Sancho, he'll be returning to the club after Chelsea decided against signing him following his loan at Stamford Bridge.
Now, João Pedro could be on his way to Newcastle. Eddie Howe's side are interested, but the Brighton forward would only move if he was a first-choice striker.
Let's get to Nottingham Forest. What a season they had, and they're in talks to sign 3 players from Botafogo in Brazil. They're a striker, a left-back and a centre-back.
Sunderland are in advanced talks with Borussia Dortmund over the sale of Joe Bellingham. The 19-year-old could leave for around £25 million. They've also signed Enzo Lefebvre today for £20 million.
And we'll finish Tottenham. Well, we won't finish them, but this is really, really interesting. Sam Wallace from The Telegraph is reporting that Heung-min Son could leave Spurs for Saudi Arabia this summer.
West Ham are close to signing young Celtic striker Daniel Cummings. They also want another number 9 and a central midfielder.
Rayan Aït-Nouri is likely to follow Matheus Cunha out of Molineux. Manchester City want to sign the defender before the start of the Club World Cup.
Arsenal have a new sporting director in Andrea Berta. That adds another layer of intrigue to their transfer window. It will be fascinating to see how he dovetails with Arteta. Both are strong-minded individuals who are not afraid to make their opinions known. Arsenal's manager told a press conference in May that, thus far, there have been no major disagreements with the new guy. If that happens, that means that we cannot explain ourselves well enough, and we are not clear enough on what we want, he explained. I guarantee you that hasn't happened. It's no secret that Arsenal intend to add a new number 9. They considered signing one last summer and again in the winter transfer window, but ultimately chose to hold fire. Their intention is to address the issue this time. With Jorginho set to leave the club, they also have a vacancy in holding midfield. This will be addressed by the arrival of Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. That move is effectively agreed, pending a medical, but Arsenal fans may have to wait for confirmation. The Spanish club have expressed a preference for the deal not to be ratified until July for accounting purposes. Arsenal are also interested in finding other ways to augment their attacking threat, perhaps through another wide player. While there has been a lot of speculation about the left flank, Arsenal may need a player who is an option on the right. Raheem Sterling has not yet been officially notified that his time at Arsenal will not be extended, but the expectation is that he will leave when his loan from Chelsea expires at the end of June. Ethan Nwaneri can play that position, but in the long term has been earmarked for a central role. That leaves Arsenal without an obvious alternative to Bukayo Saka. If they do go for a wide player, the ability to play on either flank would be advantageous. The club are in the market for a new goalkeeper to understudy David Raya. Their long-standing interest in Joan Garcia of Espanyol is well documented, but he appears to be headed elsewhere. Arsenal are already working on alternatives.